life as we know it started about 8,000 years ago, and all the 24 billion years old nonsense is just a bunch of lies cooked up by atheists, liberals, and other assorted hippies.
That's interesting. I'm glad that one's in there, because I actually don't know if you're one of these young Earth. I don't know if you're in the Ken Ham camp or not.
I'm more of a Ken Prosciutto kind of guy.
True. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that you are.
I have a tough answer on this.
Of course you do.
But to get the point, at least, I'm going to say no. But here's my view, which really could fall into either category. I do not have any strong theological, not a strong theological need or anthropological or historical need to say that the Earth is 8,000 years old.
Let me just clarify one thing. Yeah. I didn't think that you had a theological reason to say that the Earth is 8,000 years old. I figured it was contrarian.
Purely contrarian.
I thought that's what would lead you there.
No, I guess this is my issue. I like the contrarian part is nice too. The issue is, one, the 24 billion year stuff, they change that number all the time. And they'll say the universe is actually half as old as they said it was, or twice as old, or whatever. So that they don't really know. But I don't need the first chapters of Genesis to be read literally. In fact, I think it's a bit odd to read them literally. But if I am convinced that the description of the evolution of mankind as given in the book of Genesis is more accurate than whatever gobbledygook you learn.
Okay, so do you think the Earth, you don't need the Earth to be very young, but do you think that it is? That was the question.
I don't think the Earth is very young. If mankind, I don't know how old mankind is. I'm not convinced by any of the numbers that are thrown around. And what I am convinced of is that the view of human history as being 6,000 or 10,000 years is a more insightful view than whatever it's like 200,000 years and we used to be like cavemen beating each other on the heads or whatever. So
So you don't think that humanity is 10,000 years old, but you think that view is more insightful?
No, I'm saying that it is 10,000 years old is more insightful than it.
But you don't think that it is.
Years
but you don't think that it is 10, or you do?
To quote C.S. Lewis.
No, don't quote it. Quote yourself.
Okay.
To quote Michael Knowles.
To quote Michael Knowles.
The Earth is.
To quote Michael Knowles. One time I read C.S. Lewis, and what he told me. No, I'm quoting me.
The Earth is blank years old.
The Earth. Oh, I don't know. The Earth can be a bazillion years old. I don't care about that.
The human species is blank years old.
The human species.
Fill in the blank.
For all intents and purposes.
No, I just say.
Yes, no.
That's for all intents and purposes.
Well, because if some kind of evolution took place, whether that is punctuated equilibrium, whether that is a kind of minor type of evolution, if there was some breeding between a group that we now call
Neanderthal
even the question. And some other. Well, but the reason what matters is this. To quote C.S. Lewis, if there was some kind of ape-like, human-like creature. And
life as we know it. That's not even human life.
Life as meaning like mitochondrial,
just existence, like everything around you.
Well, everything around me is rather young. If you're saying like rocks and stuff,
well, I don't know. Everything around you isn't very young. I mean, the ground.
Yeah, the ground is. It's old.
You don't have to dig that right.
Yeah, the ground is old. But life as we know it, meaning human beings.
Yes. How old do you think the human species is?
Not counting like, cavemen or Nephilim or anything.
Just human.
I think anything we would describe as human, roughly 10,000 years old.
So you think, yes is the answer.
No, no, I would say
we went all around this circle.
For the purposes of my point. No, because listen, I don't deny.
It took you 24 billion years to answer the question.
Yeah.
We got back to
there's probably something like a Neanderthal. In fact, if you look at the mixtures of DNA, sub-Saharan Africans don't have any Neanderthal in them. People who come not from sub-Saharan Africa do have Neanderthal. There are different breakdowns in like Aboriginal Australians and all this kind of stuff. So like there were weird, like vaguely gorilla-like creatures who were bordering on humans, I think. Neanderthals, some have said, buried their dead. What does that mean? I don't know what any of that means. I don't know what all of this is about. But if you're asking me about something that we would call...
I'm not asking you anything. I'm asking you about the card. You ask yourself.
Well, look, the card is very ambiguous. It's not
ambiguous at all, really.
Life as we know it?
Life.
What is life as we know it, or life?
What are you a lib now? You don't know what life
No,
means?
I'm saying, are we talking about a prokaryotic cell, or are we talking about a eukaryotic cell? Or are we talking about...
Talking
about a virus? That's not even life.
Then whatever you consider life to be.
Well, now we're getting real hippie, man. Whatever, it's like, man, your life is,
Okay, but so your answer is yes, as well.
My answer, judges, in my beautifully articulate description of reconciling the literal and the figurative, where do you rule? Did I say no or yes? I said, no, that's because Davies is like a young Earth guy.
I can't even hear.
But Davies said that because he thinks the Earth is like 3 days old. He goes even further. You know, he doesn't believe in the 1950s.
As far as as far as the Earth itself, or really the universe, to me, I'm the last guy to say trust the science because we know where that leads.
This is all fake.
Right. However, there are some inescapable physical realities. So, for example, there's like the distant, what the young Earth creationists would call the distant starlight problem. That's a problem.
Yes.
I mean, it's not a problem, but when you're looking up at the sky and you can see a star, that's a million light years away. That means that that's proof right there that the Earth has been around, or rather, the universe has been around for at least a million years.
And this is not a problem for Catholics, in part because the theorizer of the Big Bang was not only a Catholic, but a Catholic priest. Father George Lemaitre. So that doesn't bother me whatsoever. Though they do kind of change the numbers on how old things are, and they're kind of interesting.
It's not going to be exact, but I think we know the universe is very, very old.
But I guess where the rubber really meets the road for me is it's not even the age of the human race, which it can be whatever. Do we descend from common ancestors, Adam and Eve? That's where the rubber meets the road for me. Where I think yes.
Well, right, but I think you also touched on it that as Catholics, the great thing is that none of this is like a problem.
The monogenism is, though. Pius XII said that we have to believe in a common ancestor.
Yeah.
So are you?
You're
not being okay. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you became a Protestant on this episode, that would be big ratings.
Well, the Protestants, but young Earth creationists is
mostly more Protestant. Thank you for purchasing this game at dailywire.com/shop and for tuning in. We'll see you next time.